get myself enriched, but unfortunately, I got another call, globally, so I have to leave. But certainly, I would like to get the copies of the presentations and have a look later. And all the best, Sarwan and Shastri ji and Madam, doing great job in this time and connecting people. I think, it's always good to have, when our teacher is sitting there and there are several students who are talking. So I think it's a great time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. So next.
Thank you, Dr. Jat.
Is me only. So I will also try to finish it well in time.
Yes, sir. First, I read your biodata, sir.
First, you will read. Okay, you.
Okay, sir.
My biodata.
Yes, sir. I read your biodata, sir.
Okay, please go ahead.
Dr. A.S. Pamar, Director, born during 1961 in Haridwar district, Uttarakhand, working as a Director ICR, IIFSR, Modipuram since January 2016, and completed the PhD from CSS University, Meerut, UP. Prior to join at this institute, worked as a senior scientist and principal scientist at ICR North East region, Meghalaya, and contributed immensely to cause of improvement of farmers in hilly areas by way of developing and identifying various alternative cropping and farming system options, including organic farming practices. The IFS model developed for hilly areas have been demonstrated in large scale to farmers in remote and far-flung area of northeast region, involving more than 10,000 farmers. As a director of ICR IIFSR from 2016-17 to till date, managed the 22 number of institute projects, 5 number of externally funded projects worth of 460 lakh, and 2 number of foreign aided project worth of 52 lakh as a project coordinator of 2 major scheme of agronomy discipline, ACRIP on integrated farming system with 74 centers in 25 states, union territories, and All India Coordinator Project on Organic Farming with 20 centers in 16 states. Made outstanding contribution by way of developing applied technology in the field of agronomy, developed and documented 45 integrated farming system model across the country, which are being replicated in different states with financially outlay of 1 to 6 crores from the state government. Around 7040 IFS model are being established in Kerala, which IFS model are popularized among the 10,990 farmers in 34 districts of Tamil Nadu. Documented organic farming packages for 79 cropping systems, and also working with farmers in more than 50 villages under Mera Gaon, Mera Gaurav program. The farming system model established by the institute through ACRIP on integrated farming system have been highlighted to Parliament and in the process of developing national mission on integrated farming system. Establish the infrastructure of more than 15 crores for ICR, IFSR and ACRIP on integrated farming system. Organize the regional agriculture fair involving 6 states, namely Punjab, Haryana, UP, and this Jammu, Kashmir, and Uttarakhand, in which more than 10,000 farmers stakeholders have participated in this event. In addition to 2 district level fair were also organized in Muzaffarnagar district, in which around 5,000 farmers participated. And he has published more than 350 publications with including 75 research papers in reputed and peer-reviewed journal, that is more than 6 rating, 15 books, 58 book chapter, then other monographs and other related research work. Then Dr. Pamar is a recipient of 15 awards, including ICR Team Research Award, Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad Award for improvement of tribal farming system. Besides, he is fellow of for professional society, serve as a member of various committees at national level, which include futuristic crop planning for India, empirical validation of SP&F, mission monitoring committee for mission on organic value chain development for NEH region, and PKVY visited international lab and organization in USA, Netherlands, Mexico, and Bangladesh. Not taking much time, I request Dr. A.K. Pawar sir to start your presentation on integrated organic farming system for Northeast India. That's why we have given the keynote on Northeast India, because you have mostly work on Northeast India.
Thank you, Dr. Haldar, for your nice introduction about me. And when we are talking about Northeast, it's not new. I am a part of Northeast India because I served more than 16 years in Northeastern region, and most of the things which I learned and did in my research areas that was related to integrated farming system. So after going through integrated farming system, then we started thinking of organic farming. Northeast more or less is a organic farming. People say it is by default, but I say it is by wisdom, because I tried a lot and I tried to convince the farmer to apply at least urea, but they didn't agree. In spite of lots of temptations were given to them. So means somewhere they know the value of organic produce, or the produce what they are having and what they are producing or consuming. So not taking much time in that direction, the organic farming, which is the soul right of Northeast India, how best we can implement the technology of organic production system. And first and foremost requirement is the nutrient management. And under organic farming, we have to apply the nutrient through organic sources. And the organic sources are the only FYN that is available with the farmers community. So what are the sources which can even supply the nutrient organically? That was the thought. And if we are having the livestock, why not to integrate those livestock with our farming practices that makes the system a integrated organic farming system. So because it is being done in the Northeast India, every figure is very well known to our colleague from Northeast India. And the change which is required nowadays in the process of producing more conventional system has changed, especially in valley areas. And if you see the example of Assam, chemicals enter into the production system. Of course, Northeast hill region still is having the chemicals which are at a negligible rate. So why we are needing the changes due to the paucity of labor, paucity of time, our system which is fragile, and hill and mountain ecosystem making the machinery unavailability and their efficiency in the hill ecosystem. So we need small machinery which can make it dramatic change in our production system. So a lots of factors which govern why to change in the systematic plan. So as a result of all these things, what is happening? Vegetation we are losing, mechanization we are lacking because of heavy machinery. But nowadays, light machineries are also available that can be taken up. So the solution, every farmers, they are thinking, they are switching their mind and observing, is there any solution of the system, what the conventional system, whether it is organic or whether it is chemical, what solution they have so that the production can be enhanced, and wherever the chemical production has started, how we can again shift to our organic production system. So lots of solutions are there, and addressing all these solutions, then we need to have a complete package of practices of the crops or cropping system which are available or which are prominent, which are promising in Northeast India. At least we should have the package of practices of those system, and integrating all these organic farming practices with livestock and horticulture not only improve the food and nutritional security. If we say at regional level, I should say it is even at household level. You know, the average land holding size is only 0.6 hectare. If you see the efficiency, land use efficiency, that is only 40%. So more or less we have 0.38 hectare land that is efficiently being utilized. So under that system, we can or we should produce the food at least for the farming community which are surviving out that available land with that household community. So under that situation, so at least we should produce food on the farm itself, or we generate the income which is sufficient to purchase the food item from the market. So these two options, if we work on that, we have to have the answer only, that is the farming system. So keeping all these things in view, even in Meghalaya, we have developed farming system model based on land use, based on the farming situations. That is dairy based land use, that agro-pastoral based land use, agri-horti-silvi-pastoral based, then agroforestry based and horti-silvi based, and finally integrated farming system. So these are some of the glimpses of dairy based, how they are economical and beneficial and environmental friendly to the farming community at household level, even in Meghalaya, in all the state of hill region. So silvipastoral system, if we talk about, that is not meant for arable land. This is for the hillock where the boulder size is big, farmers are absentee. So we have even advocated that at least those type of farmers should adopt the silvipastoral based land use system, having the goats or poultry in that area, and in the lower part or bottom part of that hillock, that we should have at least one water harvesting structure so that fish can also be produced over there, and during the scarcity or during the demand, at least we should have water available for at least irrigating the our feed and fodder crops. Another options that poultry bird, that is more important one in that area, and so poultry fish component should be and still it is a component which is indispensable for not only improving the income but the food and nutritional security at household level. And you know, Northeast India is divided into two: hill ecosystem and valley ecosystem. Valley ecosystem, we do have always water stagnated conditions, or the saturation point is higher, which does not allow any crop to grow in valley land areas. So what are the options having? If we wish to intensify that areas and we wish a diversification in that area, we have to have the raised and sunken bed technology. And by adopting this technology, we can increase the cropping intensity even up to 400%. And you know, making of raised bed is not a simple task. It involves huge money. So that money has to be recovered from these raised bed by increasing the income, by increasing the production and productivity per unit area, and having all these things in mind, at least we should have the intercropping system so that the system productivity can be enhanced in that area, and those raised and sunken bed can be very well utilized for production of vegetable crops, and the cost of production of these crops get minimized because raised bed does not require any application of water. So that cost can be significantly reduced in that area, and whatever the technology if we have developed, that need to be demonstrated on the farmer's field so that it can get an impact, or it can even replace the traditional technology which is available with the farming community, so that we can increase the income as well as productivity per unit area. This is the field near Nongpo in Meghalaya, where we had this farmer who was working with us on raised and sunken bed technology, and his earning from a 0.5 hectare area, it was in lakhs, not in thousands. So when we talked about organic farming, what change we need? At least the conventional system has to be improved with the standard technology, and we should have a certification regulatory mechanism. Whatsoever the farmers are producing, at least it should get the premium price. Most of the time farmers, they are making the complaint that we are not getting the premium price. Why? Because their produce is not certified. So that needs a certification mechanism, and it is there. When we are following organic standards, we are adopting the scientific package of practices, and above all, we should have a market network. Until and unless it is there, we cannot ensure the income of the farmers. And having these approach in our mind, as my friend Dr. M.L. Jad talked about conservation agriculture, that is first and foremost requirement in Northeast India. Even in Imphal, during 14 to 16, I was there, and I even visited Manipur. I could see 400 hectare land was under zero till mustard. That was the live example of conservation agriculture in the state of Manipur. Growing of cover crop, residue mulching, crop diversification, and when we are adopting all these approaches, so finally we have to stick on integrated organic farming system. Integrated organic farming system involving lots of components, but I have chosen the pulse production. Of course, the protein requirement in Northeast India is met through non-veg diet. But if we look into the cost of protein through veg and non-veg system, you can very well see or imagine that through pulse production, the protein cost can be minimized. So we have to have this component in our farming system. And you see, we don't want to impose any pulses which are not traditionally grown in that area. So lots of pulses are grown in that area, even in the northeastern region. These crops can be a part of our production plan. And not only the pulses crop, even in rajma, lots of French bean, if they are dried, their grain can also be used as rajma, and it is also a part of their farming system program. So why we are talking about the low income level in Northeast region? Because of prevalence of monocropping system. If you see, more or less, the cropping intensities lies between 120 to 150. So why this is happening? Because after harvest of rice, most of the lands, they remain fallow. So earlier we were not having the technology of growing second crop after harvest of rice, but nowadays we do have the technology of production of not only crops, but vegetable as well as legume also. So we have standardized the technology of pulse production after rice in northeastern hill region. And when we had included these crops in our cropping system plan, so you can very well see not only the system productivity, but gross as well as net return increase significantly. So that can also be taken up. When we are talking about the high moisture content in valley land area, this is the fact, it does not allow any crop to grow. Under water stagnated condition, we could find out the solution of raised and sunken bed technology, but where the moisture content is only higher than the saturation point, we should make only a small furrow-like structure so that it can drain out the excess water as well as moisture from the field, and we can grow the legume as well as vegetable in the standing stubbles of rice harvest. And in this process, we can make a only or open a very small manual furrow. By using manual furrow opener, we can open this and we can put the seed inside that furrow, and then we can apply the fertilizer if it is we are talking about organic farming. If we are talking about the conventional, then fertilizer can be applied. Under organic production system, we can apply farmyard manure or vermicompost or other source of organic nutrient management. You can see very well after harvest of rice with the stubbles, lentil can be successfully grown in entire northeastern hill as well as valley land ecosystem. Another thing is that during the rainy season, you see most of the time we do have rains. So it does not allow any crop even to grow in terraces area. So most of the areas are under either rice or maize. So, but we do have the land which is sufficiently and easily available between two terraces of rice, that is the bunds. So these bunds can be utilized for production of legume crop along with rice. So integrated organic farming system. So today integration is for better tomorrow. So we have the thought in that way that we should have at least the slogan, खेत का पानी खेत में, गांव का पानी गांव में, खेत की कार्बन खेत में, गांव की कार्बन गांव में. And if we follow this slogan, so not only the income, but the production can be ensured maximum per drop of available water in the area. So in that situation, we can very well say that integrated organic farming system, it is the answer for food security, financial security, nutritional security, as well as environmental security. So having all these things, we had developed two farming system model in Northeast India. So one IUFS model for valley land, it was 0.43 hectare, and one for sloping land, it was in 1 hectare area that was developed. So we tried to kept all these components which are essential for food and nutritional security, like cereals, pulses, vegetable, kitchen garden, dairy unit, fruit, fisheries, vermicompost, fodder, as well as hedgerow. So all these components that needs to be integrated with each other, then we can fulfill the objective of integrated organic farming system. And inclusion of vegetable not only ensure the nutritional security, but income enhancement at household level. And you see, one of the important and indispensable component is the farm pond. Farm pond not only serve in supplying the water for supplementary or complementary irrigation, but it is a source of food in the form of fish production. So these ponds are having dike or sloping areas. So those sloping areas and dike can be very well utilized for the production of vegetable as well as fruits like citrus crop, especially the Assam lemon in that area, so that it can increase the income of the farmer. So when we had done these complete analysis, of course, it is this appear. So integrated organic farming system could give 1.65 lakhs per hectare net return, whereas from farmer practice, it was only 57,000. So we can very well imagine that by adopting the integrated organic farming system, we can double the income of the farmers within the stipulated time. These are the nutrient requirement, and how these nutrient requirements are being met on the farm itself through the having the dairy component, having the component in that one. When we talk about the food and nutritional security at household level, at least we should know what is the requirement of food and nutritional security component. So we had analyzed all the component and we turned that into the monetary, and we could find out that 71,000 rupees per annum is required for 5-member families. Of course, this is the data of 2016 when I was there. So means on an average rupees 15,000 per person per annum is required. So either we have to produce this kind of crops at farm itself, or we should generate the income so that these components can be purchased from the nearby areas or from the market. So we have made the comparative assessment of both these farming system model, and we could find out this is the 71,000 rupees, this is the requirement of a family, and we have a net income from the model. So you can see after in 0.43 hectare measure, more or less the equal, means after meeting the family requirement, that household does not have sufficient money for their social or other needs. But having 1 hectare farming system model, they have sufficient amount of money for secondary family requirement. So this is the 1 hectare model we had in Meghalaya. So we allocated the area under cereals, then horticulture crop, then fish pond, poultry, piggery, vermicompost, and threshing floor. Like that, we allocated the area and we did that analysis, and even we had utilized the pond dike for production of vegetables, so that the maximum area or per unit area available with the farming community can be efficiently utilized. So organic production system has to be made compulsory in the northeast region to make the food and nutritional security at household level. Having this thing approach, we can do it, but for more production, if household they are producing, at least market requirement, that is a big question. So then we have to adopt the cluster approach, and in that way group of farmer can be a cluster or village can be treated as a cluster. So IOFS cluster approach we had done in Minsan village in Meghalaya. So we had worked out the component wise requirement, what is the cereal requirement, what is the pulse requirement, meat requirement. So all requirement in the village itself, it was produced and met at household level, and remaining produce was sold in the market. So market was facing a lots of problem in Shillong. They were having the demand of organic certification. So by that time, that village does not have or did not have the organic certification. So that's why the organic outlet was opened in the national highway, and they successfully sold out their excess produce in that outlet. So these are the requirement in that waiver. How we can, given the intervention, the crop diverse crops, livestock, then horticulture, then secondary agricultural practices, so that the income can be enhanced. And above all, first and foremost requirement is the capacity building. Until and unless we increase the knowledge status of the farmers, especially the farm women, because in the Northeast India, most of the work are being taken up by the women. So we have to increase their skill level so that the technology can be proliferate in the villages also. And having all these things, how we have distributed these components like major crop, then pre-kharif crop in kharif, rabi, fruit tree, vegetables, spices, all crops were allocated in that area. And you see, Meghalaya, it is known for highest rainfall, but during winter season, there is no rain. And even Mawsynram or Cherrapunji, they are known to be the wet desert. So how we have to make this plan that at least at household level, some water should be available. So during the rainy season, at least we tried that farmers should harvest minimum quantity of water. So we made small water harvesting structure, at least in 1000 farmers field. The dimension was 5 meter, 4 meter and 1.5 meter. So this water was even utilized for their domestic purpose, for the washing and drinking of livestock, as well as production of fish and vegetable in that area. And in few farmers field, azolla was also grown, and it was fed to their livestock, especially in poultry. And we could find out the poultry which were fed azolla, they produced, that was the Gramabiria, they produced 135 to 140 eggs in 1 year. And the Gramabiria, which were provided only the feed material, they could produce only 90 to 95 eggs per year. So this much of drastic change with the feeding of azolla was observed in Meghalaya, and that's why it was made popular on the farmers' field. And farmers taking advantage of it. A lots of biomass is available in and around the villages or in and around the farm household. That's why the community vermicompost units need to be established in the village itself and at the farm house itself. And when we are taking a village as a cluster, or we have a group of farmers in a cluster, so at least we should produce any commodity anytime in bulk so that the buyer can be attracted. We do have this much of production so that buyer can take in trucks. So that's why we made a concept of community nursery. So community nursery was established in the villages, and 1 or 2 farm family, they were allowed to grow community nursery, and they sold out the nursery plant to their fellow farmers in that area. So they earned money in that process also, and all the village, they earn money in the terms of production of truckloads of vegetable in that particular village. They attracted the buyer. Buyers came into the village, having the truckload with them. They purchased the vegetable and they took it to the market in Guwahati as well as in Kolkata. Fruit trees has also been taken up on large scale. Then pineapple. Pineapple is the principal crop on northeastern region, but major setback is that most of the plantation is along the slopes. So it is causing lots of soil erosion. So we tried to convince, and we had taken this task that at least the pineapple plantation should be taken up across the slope, and we got success into that aspect also. The entire village is having the pineapple that is across the slope. Now they could understand the benefit of planting the pineapple across the slope, and in between these two rows of pineapple pulses are also being grown successfully. Then hedgerow on terrace land, hedgerows are also being encouraged so that it can act as a alley crop, or it can enrich the soil fertility besides providing green leaf fodder for their goatry component or for their cow component. Pig also an important component in farming system. In Northeast India, Meghalaya and Mizoram, it is a lovely animal. Every household like to have. But if you see the example of Meghalaya, Khasi pig attain only 25 to 35 kg in 1 year. So we tried to introduce Yorkshire. They adopted it and they could even harvest 80 to 100 kg weight within 270 days. But what was the problem? Problem came with the test of this Yorkshire. Then we have improved the Khasi pig by crossing Khasi pig with Yorkshire, and this is the excellent breed in Meghalaya, and every farmers they like to rear that crossbred, and it is attaining the weight of 60 to 80 kg in 275 days. So this way the farmers' incomes can also be increased, or food and nutritional can also be increased by having piggery as well as poultry component in the backyard of the household. As I told you earlier, near the national highway, this is the outlet, and most of the produce are being sold here to villagers, especially girls. They are engaged, they are taking the produce of each and every household. Those who want to sell, they are selling it, and they are they have fixed a certain commission on that. So this way they are getting the employment in that outlet. So that is an example. Lots of problem when we had introduced the integrated organic farming system. These problems we encountered, we faced, but we could overcome all these problems so that it could be easily taken up to the farmers field. And now it is the example, not only mentioned, two more villages, they entered into our agreement, and they told that we don't need any financial support from ICAR side, only we want the technology. It means when the technology is sound, so there is no problem of its percolation. So this way it open up the scope as well as prospect in organic farming, in especially in Northeast India. Whatever are the SWOT analysis of having the integrated organic farming system, we had also done that. And in conclusion, we can say that integrated organic farming system not only ensure the food security, but it has a negative impact on environment. Besides, it is now fetching the premium price and the popularity in Northeast India. So with this, I conclude my talk, and I do believe it must have opened up some of the scopes in the eyes of our participants. If they have any queries, I will be happy to share one or two questions, because we have to go another presentations also. With this, I thank you very much for your patience hearing.
slide बंद करो. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Just a minute.
Dr. A.S. Panwar, Director, IFSR. Sir, you have presented a very excellent presentation, particularly for the Northeast India. Through integrated organic farming, how the farmers of Manipur, particularly hill sector, valley sector, can be increased, and how their economic sector can be increased in Northeast. and how the practice of organic farming, our methodology, particularly to slopeland, and with different intervention with the theme that गांव का पानी गांव में और खेत का पानी खेत में और खेत का कार्बन खेत में और गांव का कार्बन गांव पे. So with this, you have given a brief about the development of Jalkuns in particularly in Meghalaya, in Northeast, and then how the slopeland farming and they will adopt the organic shows, vermicomposting, and then pig rearing in integrated way, so that the component or animal component as well as crop components they can integrate organically, and diversification of crops also. Sir, thank you, sir, very much for your well speech, sir. Thank you. Next session, we will start.
Yes, Dr. Sarantham, thank you for your nice word and summarizing my talk. So without wasting much time, we will be entering into another presentation.